Hi. For our second activity for today, we're going to go ahead and think a little bit backwards. We're going to use some of those logic and solving skills that we've used in the past in order to figure out what some missing values in tables are. We've been making tables to graph lines, and now I want to see if you can work backwards to figure out what the x or y value should be if I only give you one of the two values for a given ordered pair. So I have two examples that we're going to do together as a class. You're going to need to take notes over this. The first equation for a line we're going to do is y equals 4x minus 6. I have x and y. Notice that the two values I give you for x are 4 and 0. And the two values I give you for y, three values I give you for y are negative 10, 10, and negative 6. To do this, we're just going to start with the first problem. We're going to substitute in what we know, just like a normal table problem, and figure out what the answer is. It says let x be 4. So I'm going to write my equation. So y equals, it says 4x, remember that means multiplication, 4 times my x. Well, my x value this time is 4, so we're going to put a 4 in there, minus 6. Now I'm going to complete my order of operations. So 4 times 4 is 16 minus 6. Well, that's just 10. So my y value in my table that I'm going to now write in is 10. I'm going to repeat the process, the same idea in the next one, but notice on this one we have y is negative 10. So instead of putting it in where we see x, this time we're going to put it in where we see y. So the equation is y equals 4 times x minus 6. And this time where we have y, we're going to put in a negative 10. Now in this problem, we're going to have to work backwards and solve for x just like we did in previous chapters. Remembering that both sides of an equation must balance when we're solving. So in order to do this problem, we always get rid of any adding or subtracting first. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. I get negative 4 equals 4x. 4x means 4 times x, so then I divide both sides by 4. And I get x equals negative 4 divided by 4, which is negative 1. So my x value this time is negative 1. Give you a second write those down. If you need to pause the video, do so. I'm going to erase my work, and then we're going to talk about the next set. So we're ready to go with 0 for x. So I take my problem, y equals 4 times, replacing in our value here, so 0 minus 6. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, minus 6 is negative 6. So the value I put in my table is negative 6. Now, if you look at the next two problems, they actually have for y. So just like before when we were solving for x, we have to substitute it in where we see y in the problem. So in this problem, it's going to be 10 equals 4 times x minus 6. Add 6 to both sides. We get 16 equals 4x. And then we divide both sides by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so therefore my x value is 4. Well, wait. Didn't we already do that problem? Look. Right here. That's a good way to check yourself. It doesn't always happen, but in this case we actually did what we got. Let's try this again, but this time, well, earlier we looked and we saw if x is 0, then y is negative 6. Let's just check that one as well. Now, on your tables, you won't have repeats, so you don't have to worry about it. But I just threw in a couple repeats so you can see it works both ways. So I'm going to let y be negative 6 this time. So I come up here to my problem. So negative 6 equals 4x minus 6. I add 6 to both sides. I get 0 equals 4x. And then I divide both sides by 4. and I get x equals 0, which is what I should have gotten. So it works both ways, whether you're working backwards or forwards. We just have to be careful with our computations and our numbers. So we're going to do one more set together. This one has a fraction, since you know I love fractions. So the first problem we're going to do is y equals 1/2 x plus 4 when x is 8. So we're going to take our problem. We're going to substitute in an 8 for our x. So it's going to be y equals 1/2 times 8. You can put it over 1 if you want, plus 4. I'm just going to do the work horizontally here so we can fit more on a page. So 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then we had plus 4, so the answer is 8. Isn't that interesting? The x value is the same as the y. Okay, for the second problem, this time though, we're going to let y be 2. Now I'll go ahead and do this in column form because it's really not working forward, we're working backward on it. So we're going to do 2 equals 1/2 x plus 4. So I subtract 4 from both sides. I get -2 equals 1/2 x. Now if you don't remember what we do, since it says times 1/2, the opposite of multiplying by half is to divide by half, which is actually multiplying by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2 over 1, which is just 2. So then what happens, 1/2 times 2 over 1, those cancel. We get x equals, what is 2 times -2? Well, that is -4. So over here, I'm going to put a -4 in for my x value. Okay, get those recorded. If need be, pause the video. We got 3 more to do and then we're done. And then I'm going to have you try a few on your own. For the next problem, we're going to let x be 0. So we get y equals 1/2. This time it goes in for x times 0 plus 4. Now you can put it over 1, but we talked about this. Anything times 0 is just 0. So we really just have 0 plus 4, which is 4. 4, 0. Wait, I put it in the wrong spot. That should be up here, right here. Make sure that you put it in the right spot. This one says let y be 0. That's something totally different. So this one we're going to let y be 0 this time. So where we see y, we're going to put in a 0. So 0 equals 1/2 x plus 4. Subtract 4 from both sides. We get -4 equals 1/2 x. Just like before, we multiply by the reciprocal, so we're going to multiply by 2 over 1. These cancel. You get x equals 2 times -4, which is -8 over 1, which is -8. We got one more problem and then we're done. For the last problem, we're going to let y be -1. So here we go. So let y be -1 equals 1/2 x plus 4. Subtract 4 from both sides. We get -5 equals 1/2 x. Then we multiply both sides by the reciprocal, so 2 over 1, 2 over 1. Now what happens there is these cancel, the 2's cancel, and the 1's cancel. We get x equals whatever 2 times -5 is, which is -10. Divided by 1 is just still -10. Now, will I always get whole answers? No. Sometimes you'll have to take a whole number times a mixed number, which we have practiced, but sometimes it will just be able to figure it out. So you need to, in this section, decide whether am I plugging it in for x or whether I'm plugging it in for y. If I'm substituting it in for x, I just go about the computation using the order of operations. If I'm solving for x and I'm plugging in y, we have to work backwards. Hopefully this is helpful. We've got a little activity to do after this.